Welcome to our Devos. We are talking about finishing strong and the fact that we were made for this. So this is pumped up. I hope you're excited. And I want to talk to you today about what waiting does and what the purpose of waiting is. There's some confusion about this. And I just want to make you aware that sometimes God will put you, a lot of times, God will put you in an area of waiting. And in that area of waiting, be aware that God's delay tests trust, not strength. God's delay is to test trust and not your strength. Let me explain. There is a scene, and this is a really terrible illustration that I may regret later, but I can't help it. This will show you what kind of a nerd I am. There's a scene from the movie Star Wars: The Phantom Menace in the towards the end of it, okay? So there's two Jedi guys that are going after the big bad, the bad of the movie, this guy named Darth Maul. He's like this ninja with this double-edged Jedi sword, and they're fighting, and they have this huge fight. Well, there is this moment towards the end, towards the climax of the battle, that there's these doors, these kind of like laser doors that come down that block them from being able to battle this guy. So the guy is caught, the two Jedis are caught, they're both in separate compartments, and they're all kind of like anxious. Well, the mature one, the wise one, he stops, he looks and realizes that he can't pass the door, and he gets down on his knees and he does like Jedi meditation. Of course, this isn't Judeo-Christian stuff, but he's having a meditative moment, realizing that he's called there to wait. He doesn't try to rip the thing down. He doesn't try to hit the door. He doesn't do any of that. He just focuses because he knows at one point that door is going to come down. Every single time I see that scene, every single time I remember that movie, what I think about is sometimes the waiting that God allows us to go through a lot of times is not for us to be so strong that we go faster and walk ahead of God. No, the purpose is, do we have enough faith to stop and trust? Okay, I've hit a brick wall, and right now I'm going to trust God is going to give this to me, but the timing isn't right. Okay, I know right now that we have hit a brick wall. There's so many, we could fill a book with the stories that have gotten us to this point in the church's history when it comes to the building of the church. We could spend hours, but really I'll just give you one. One of the things that happened is we hired a builder that Pastor Mike and I really loved right off the bat, a Christian company. Okay, it says I get really nervous working with Christian companies. I'm just telling you the truth. And we've hired a lot of Christian companies. We've worked with a lot of Christian companies, and this was a Christian builder. They only build churches, best in the business. They had all these churches they had built in the South, and they had really good pricing. We met the people. We flew them up here. Wonderful meeting, all that stuff. So the board hired them. Of course, they ripped the church off. Of course, they didn't deliver on their plans. Of course, they took money from the church. Of course, it ended up in this battle. Now, if we weren't so accustomed to the way that we know things work, that would have been like, okay, it's over, this project isn't working. But really, what that tested was our ability to wait on the Lord. And what ended up happening was we didn't lose any time on the project at all. The timing was perfect because we were able to get the plans finished with another contractor the right way. We were able to find a better contractor. We were able to find the local contractor that's building the building now. All of this happened, and instead, what we could have done is we could have just pulled a red flag, hit a button, stopped the project, but we shouldn't have did this. This isn't going to work. But the trust factor was there. If God permitted us to get that property, then he's going to permit us to finish the work that he wanted down there. If God permitted us to get that property, he's going to permit us to raise the money that we need in order to produce the work that needs to be done on the property. And every single step of the way that we've trusted him, he has delivered. He has over-delivered. He is more than faithful to give. It says in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, this is talking about the vision. Habakkuk writes, "For still the vision awaits its appointed time. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." The most important thing isn't how the vision comes to pass. The most important thing is that we believe in the God of the vision. Is that we trust in the God of the vision, that we believe that he was faithful when he did this, and he's faithful when he started, and he's going to be faithful again. And that's why we're going to finish strong. Because no matter what happens, this is God's idea. This is his deal. We're just along for the ride, and we're here to be faithful and our trust will endure because his faithfulness endures forever.